Hello everybody. In this video, I am going to be talking about the results of a cut test that I did. The first thing I have to say is I intended to record the cutting process itself, but in the middle of it my tripod broke and everything fell to the floor. And so because of that I lost the footage halfway through. And so I thought, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and do the test. And then I'll tell my results. And I didn't figure it was too big of a deal that I didn't get to show how I was doing it, simply because anybody who's curious, you all can do the test yourself and let me know how the test turned out for you all. You can replicate it and see what kind of results you get, because I'd be curious to know, because I did not get the results that I assumed I would get. It was kind of shocking. Now, the way I did the test is I just used a regular cardboard box. And I just cut strips off that cardboard box. And when I started off, I had the same angle on all these knives we're going to see here. And I sharpened them up until they would pop the hairs off your arm and easily slice into papers. And so that's how I began. And I sliced with them until the knife would no longer slice paper easily. Now you could still kind of force it through, but it was ripping and tearing. And so I went until the knife got to that point where it would not slice paper any longer. And when it got to that point, then I took it off and I tested how easy it was to resharpen it. And to resharpen it, I used this 1000 grit Lansky ceramic hone. And I would see how many swipes it took. The first thing I will say is that these knives that we are going to be looking at here are all different. The first one here, you'll notice that the case doesn't have a case logo on it, and that's because one of my friends made this particular case for me. And you'll notice that this knife is not in an slip that says case on it, and you can guess why. That's because it's not a case. You can see the end of it sticking in there. And any of y'all who are knife guys, you know exactly what kind of knife that is. That's a Swiss Army knife. This particular one is the full-size Tinker. This was the blade I used for the test. You can see I've got it sharpened back up. So that's the first steel that we tested, was the Victorinox stainless steel. I've always liked the steel. It's not the hardest steel in the world, but it's a good steel for everyday uses. The second steel we tested is this knife right here. Case Sodbuster Jr. And this one represents our true sharp stainless steel, as you can see. This is a 2024 case. And again, I've got this one fully resharpened. Got a good keen edge on it. So this was the second knife we tested, and this is representing the Case True Sharp Stainless. As a matter of fact, I still have some stuff on the top of the blade there I need to wipe off from cutting the boxes. But yeah, that's the second knife we tested. And then the third steel that we tested, and I bet any of us can guess it, it's another Case. It's the classic carbon steel. Not Case's older chrome vanadium, but the new carbon steel they come out with, the one that they label CS. It's around a 1095, from what I understand. This knife is also a 2024. 3137 Sodbuster Jr. CS Carbon Steel, USA. This is a nice knife. All these are nice knives. I like them all. Seems to me like average prices, if you're looking at a new knife, anywhere from 29 to 35, 30 to 45, and then this Swiss Army knife's probably somewhere from 20 to 30 is what the regular Tinker was going for last I checked. I had got this one used a while back and restored it. But one reason why I wanted to do this test is I've seen other tests done, but Case has changed their carbon steel. So it's no longer the old CV steel. If you look at an older case from before 21 and 22, you're going to see it says CV, chrome vanadium, and it's going to say that instead of CS, carbon steel. And Case changed their steel, and so I wanted to redo the test because of that. It seems to me that this newer steel, it's easier for me to get it sharp. I can get the other sharp, but this is a little easier to get sharp, in my opinion. The other thing that I've noticed is it seems to me like the newer Case knives in stainless hold a better edge than the older Case knives. Now, I don't know exactly why that is, but I've noticed it when I'm resharpening also. And this little Stockman, for instance, this 18 pattern, this is a 2002, if I remember right. There you can see the stamp. This took a considerable amount of effort to sharpen it, and I got it good and sharp, and it holds an edge good enough. But now if I compare that to the same model, this one in blue bone, this is an 18 pattern also. You can see the year on this one is 2014. If you look at that, this one, it was a whole lot easier to sharpen than my red Stockman. And they're both in Case of stainless steel. But this one was a lot easier to sharpen. It holds an edge better, and it's sharper. And I can tell when I've been sharpening these steels, the older Case knives sharpen up different from the newer ones. They feel different as you sharpen them. And because of that, I was wanting to test with Case's 2024 stainless and their 2024 carbon steel. And I threw the Swiss Army knife in there because I've always liked the steel in the Swiss Army knife. It's not the hardest steel in the world, but it is extremely easy to re-hone. It's easy to maintain, I guess we should say. So when it comes down to it, the simple question then is two things. How many swipes could the knife make before it got to where it could no longer easily slice paper? And second off is how many swipes did it take to bring it back? Well, to answer the first question, none of these three needed anything more than this 1,000 grit ceramic stone, and they each only needed 3 swipes to have them fully sharp again. And by 3 swipes, what I mean is I swiped toward me once like this. Then I swiped away from me once, and then I swiped back toward me. So 2 swipes on one side and 1 swipe on the other. That's all that these 3 knives took to go back to razor sharp again. So that's very good. So they all are the same in regards to resharpening. But now here's where things took a crazy twist. It did not turn out how I expected it to. And you all feel free to replicate this test. Comment your experiences down in the comments below. This is just how this one test turned out. You all do the test, see how your test turns out. See how different it is. But nevertheless, the results of this test, this Victorinox, I was able to make 250 slices through a hard cardboard box, and it was a pretty tough cardboard. And at that point, it was not wanting to easily slice through paper. It would have still done any daily task like cutting tape, but it was starting to lose its edge. So the Victorinox stainless steel made it 250 swipes, and then to resharpen it, it took 2 swipes on one side and 1 swipe on another. Then this is going to be the shocker right here. This one come in next. This carbon steel from Case. This knife made it to 280 slices before it started not wanting to slice through paper easily. And at that point, I took it off and took it to the ceramic stone, and again, I came toward me, away from me. So I come toward me like this, away from me, and back toward me again. So it took the same amount to resharpen as this Victorinox, and it was razor sharp again. And so it did better than the Victorinox, as we expected, by 30 strips, by 30 slices. And this is the one that is shocking, is this white stainless steel sod buster. By the time I got to 300 strips through the cardboard, it was still cutting through paper pretty easily. It was starting to get a little jagged when I would slice through the paper. It was not going through as smooth, but at 300 slices, it was still slicing. And that was so far above the others. It was 50 above the Victorinox, and it was 20 above the Carbon Steel that I went ahead and called it and quit the test. And that is the results that I had. The stainless steel case held its edge the longest. The carbon steel case came in second, and the Victorinox come in third. I like all these knives. I like the steel in all these knives, and they were all just as easy to resharpen, at least for me in this test. Whoa, took a tumble there. See if I can get the camera set back up. Nevertheless, that was the results that I had there. And that's very interesting. Very interesting. So comment down below how you feel about this test. I expected the carbon steel case to have the best, to hold the best edge. And then I kind of expected the Victorinox to come in second and the stainless steel case to come in third. But that was not the way it worked out at all. So that is very, very interesting. But yeah, if y'all out there have had any experience or done any tests like this, comment down below the results you had. I'm curious to see if y'all out there are having better success with the carbon steel holding the edge longer than cases stainless. So comment down below. See what you find in these blade steels. Until next time, everybody out there, you have a good day and keep your knives sharp.